needed to be vaccinated. But half of Americans now say they wouldn't take a vaccine if it was released now. If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it, absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Nicki Minaj.
The white courtesy phone.
I understand the hesitancy. Listen, I was hesitant when Donald Trump was out there controlling the CDC and controlling the FDA and manipulating them and making them put out falsehoods. Anybody rational was hesitant.
So I guess you got to do the dirty laundry and do all the disclaimers. It's unfortunate we have to do these things. No, Nicki's not some right-wing savior. No, I still don't like entertainers or rappers speaking on issues and whatnot because most of them are dumb. I can respect somebody even if I disagree with their viewpoint, the content they create. I can still say, oh, I agree with you on that, and then not be this big thing. You know, it's this weird thing we do as black people. You share a clip of Kevin Samuels. Is that your king? Like, no, I disagree with what he said in the video. Like, he's not my king. I'm not even subscribed. I just saw the clip. Like, relax. But that's all the stuff that's going on. This is nothing new. Obviously, we're talking about Nicki Minaj and how she simply told her fans why she wasn't going to the Met Gala. She talked about a whole bunch of stuff. She had got COVID, that's why she didn't go to the VMAs. She talked about how Drake got the vaccine and he still got sick. She talked about having a nanny and a new baby, and she don't want to be separated from her baby in this stage of, you know, the baby's not even a couple months old yet. And the first nigga crap they sent out there off the leash, per usual, was Joy-Ann Reid. She goes and talks, as you remember, as Cody Noir already did his video, she was who they used to go after Killer Mike when he sat down with Cody Noir to do the conversation about guns. It's weird too that Cedric Benson was the nigga crack that they sent out to lie on Ice Cube about their whole meeting and arrangement or when they supposed to meet. Now the White House is saying that Nicki lied about their arrangement, and they sent out Booty Bandit Don Lennon to discredit this alleged meeting that Nicki said that the White House reached out. Now, absolutely, the right, they are thirsty. I forgot who said it. Somebody said it on Tim Pool's cast, like how they really do admire, or not admire, but they like how the left, the Nancy Pelosi's and the AOC's, and all, how they can dibble and dabble and hobnob with Hollywood, the entertainers, the basketball, like they like that. So of course, there's this weird thirst. You see it on Fox News, where somebody who, you know, if it's a Kanye, how many times have we seen a Miss America say something that the right agrees with? And I'm like, hold your horses, chill, wait up. Like, this is not new. This happens all the time. Like, don't get it twisted. Killer Mike bent over just like Bernie Sanders did. Like, Bernie is a bitch, but Killer Mike bent over too, the same way, and like went back to he shut up and dribbled because the black folks had to smoke for him. But it's weird that this is nothing new and we act like we haven't seen this before. Don Lennon was sent out to lie about that meeting. Again, Nicki's no savior. I don't agree with her. I don't follow her. I think she's corny and a whole bunch of other issues. But I think it's good that she has a platform, and that's why the right are always jumping like cheerleaders when they see somebody from that space say something that they agree with. Nicki never said, don't take the vax. I'm not getting the vax. They focus on the part where she said her cousin's homie got some situations. I don't know about that. But Jimmy Dorn, who is a Democrat, who is a liberal, went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and we can get to that too. And he said, I still got side effects. I still got headaches. I still got body aches. It's affecting me. And they didn't go as hard on him. But because he's a quote unquote truth teller and he holds his party accountable, which I don't agree with his politics, but I respect that he holds his party accountable. He's pointing out all the F shit with Bernie, how he cooked Crystal Ball and Sagar on their own podcast. Bernie gonna go to their podcast and tell them who can be on it, and he only wanted to talk to Crystal. He didn't talk to Sagar or the other little white liberal dude. But I understand that this is not easy, right? I get that what happened to Killer Mike was hard to do, but he capitulated. He bitched out. It is what it is. So my thing would be for conservatives, the thirsty ones, because not everybody's doing it. Not everybody's making this like an end all be all. It's like, yo, we disagree with her on this issue, and the issue is not an anti-vax issue. Nowhere in her post was she anti-vax or vax hesitancy. She said, yo, I'm an artist. I got a tour to eat. That's how we make our money. All these venues, Joe Biden did the mandate. All the Democrat governors are going to end up doing the mandate. If I want to eat, I got a tour. I got to get vaxxed. She said eventually. She said, I'm not doing it for this Met Gala, though. I'm not doing it for this moment. Just to be around a bunch of celebrities and promote some stuff. She's been MIA for the last year. Obviously, she just had a new kid. But I have a hard time. Like, all these last 4 years we've been hearing about Trump is what that word they kept using? He's authoritarian and a fascist. And I'm like, if anything proved that Trump was not that, was our whole system. Whenever he did Trump talk in a way that was authoritative? Absolutely. But did he policy-wise lead that way? No, he did not. And even when he got close to even attempted to that, he lost in the courts. That shows you the system works. Joe Biden, on the other hand, has big tech, has the media in the palm of his hands. That's why all this is popular, because it deflected from the fact that, although I agree with the withdrawal from Afghanistan, it was sloppy, it was tacky. And I'll give Joe Biden a benefit of the doubt, the same that I would give Trump. Trump had the entire media, big tech, and his own generals against him. Quote unquote deep state. I don't think that these generals had a proper plan to get out because they didn't want to get out. So I'm not going to throw too much dirt at Joe. It was sloppy, it's nasty, it wasn't prepared. You left a bunch of stuff over there. Understandable. That's a bad look. He's going to get the blame for that. It happened on his watch. On the same time, we just came out with the information that one of our top dog gangster generals was having conversations with China about Trump. Like, that's some treasonous shit. The man should be fired. But again, we keep saying Trump is a fascist, but I don't see anything more fascist right now than the media in cahoots with big tech. Nikki Twitter gets canceled because she said some things. She's clapping back at all the people who are trying to talk to her like she's dumb. You got the entire media. First, they do this properly. They send the niggocrat out there. Joy-Ann Reid was first, and that gave all the other white liberals and talk show hosts, Piers Morgans, and the rest of them now can come jump on. And there are even some people on the right too. Meghan McCain got her feelings about that situation. There's a few people on the right who are misinterpreting the situation, saying that, why does Nikki get a call to the White House for asking questions? Obviously because they think niggas are dumb. That's why they always get entertainers to come to us. And again, that's the conflict. I didn't think Ice Cube was that articulate in that Roland Martin interview, but Ice Cube brought smart people with him. He brought other black economists with him. Like, he didn't just come by himself and try to do some stuff he ain't know about business. He did the right thing in that situation. Like, yo, I'm just trying to put it together here. I'm gonna be the face of it. I'm gonna promote it. Y'all smart people go do the things. He did it right. But what happened to him? The entire black media went after him, demolished him. The same way the White House lying on Nikki, saying about the meeting that they offer her. And that's what I'm saying. At least wait till the meeting is over. She might go to that meeting, come out with the jabby, come out with the ticket in the back of her neck, and just start promoting Pfizer and Moderna and all the other stuff, right? So I agree that there's a thirstiness from the right. When they see stuff like this, they go overboard. But I think some people are overreacting that, because Candace Owens jumped on it and she's for it. Now because there's a beef between like Daryl Scott, Candace Owens, and Kimberly Klacik, they're using the situation for the wrong reasons to do their own personal infighting things. You know, Kimberly Klacik said some dumb shit about we're fake and it's freedom of speech. This ain't gonna do with freedom of speech. She simply said, yo, and what they don't like is do your research and pray. That's what it's all about. The same media that's lying on Nicki for what she actually said, right, for whatever reason, they lied on Joe Rogan a few weeks ago saying he took horror tranquilizer. He beat the COVID in like 3 days or some shit, doing what his doctors recommended him to take. It's almost to the point where like the media is okay lying to people if it justifies their cause. The ends justify the means. So if you do have bad set of fights, if you do, like Jimmy Dorn has constantly said on Joe Rogan, if you do have issues, you can't say it. If you do have doubts, forget the doubts. Stephen A. Smith was on Breakfast Club talking about these athletes put all type of stuff in their body, blah, 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 blah. So what? They still get to dictate which things they want to put in and which things they don't. Like, come on. Every day there's new evidence coming out about the stabby and what it does to people. They didn't do any tests about a woman's menstrual cycle, and now they got data coming out. It's going to probably come out next week, according to Kim Iverson on forgot the show, but according to her, that there's new data coming out that's saying that, you know, women are having messed up cycles because of the stabby, but they didn't account for that in their test trials or whatever, which they probably couldn't have time to. You heard the vice president say, I wouldn't take it if Trump did it, as if Trump was going to be in a lab with a white suit injecting bleach in tubes and shit. That was dumb. Like, they undermined their own arguments. Even Nicki clapped back and said, Joy-Ann Reid, you said you wasn't sure about it during the Trump administration. Like, they really think people are dumb. It's not about in defense of Nicki. It's defense of the situation. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're watching big tech in cahoots with the media, and this is a trial one for everything. And it's like, come on. How many times have we seen this before? Again, I think that Killer Mike bitched out. And it's be crazy if Killer Mike bitched out over something he didn't have to. Everything that Joy-Ann Reid said in that segment was a lie, and tore Gay and Tiffany annoying ass voice cross. Everything he said was wrong. He still capitulated. He didn't stand his ground. His wife told him to stick to what you're good at, and his rapping. He shut up and dribble. What does it look like if Nicki, over something she said she's gonna do anyways, be the voice of reason and stand up and not bow down and not back up because of how she felt? It's mind-boggling that they really think that because she has 20 million followers that people are sitting there eating her every row, yet like her every word. Like, that's how lowly they think of you. That's how lowly they think of people. Black people. They did the dumbass juvenile, went to the White House, got that check, vaxxed that thing up. All these celebrities talking about get it. When LeBron James said that's a personal situation and blah, 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 I disagree with Stephen A. Smith for saying, oh, he need to tell the people. That's none of your freaking business. That's not up for the talking about it. Like, that's a private medical matter. Like, no, it's nobody's business what you do in that situation for him to tell the world. Do what's best for your family. It's only one thing you can do right now when it comes to that stabby is say take it. And guess what? Damn near every commentator on TV, on the right or the left, says that. But on the right, at least there's from some folks, I think you should get it, but it should be your choice. That's simple. That's what Nicki said. That's what people on the right are agreeing with. Most people are going to take it. Like, they told us we only need 75% of people to reach herd immunity. We at 80% of the population. That's not enough. Joe Biden came out and demonized those 80 million people who don't have it and is blaming them, even though Duke had a situation. Only 8 people out of the 300 people who got it at Duke were unvaxxed. Obama had his birthday party, no mask. Allegedly everybody's vaxxed. 160 people got it out of that 600 party. Looking at the Met Gala, all these celebrities are vaxxed and open-faced and smiling and grinning and shinning and grinning. All the black people who work there are faceless and masked, even though I'm sure they had to make them get the stabby too, right? It's just weird. Gavin Newsom, Dianne Feinstein, shutting down hotels, salons, shutting down restaurants. They're hobnobbing, doing their thing. Like, it's just like, come on. At some point, you have to recognize what's going on. At some point, you have to, who's the real authoritarian? Like, we're watching liberals reject, and this goes on both sides, but we're watching people who used to be for Medicare for all, no matter what situation you've been through. Now they're contemplating, well, if you had the COVID, you shouldn't get treatment, or if you had the COVID, they should charge you more. Delta's charging their employees more money if you not got the stabby for your insurance. So that's okay now. As a society, those pro Medicare for all people, those Medicare should be a human right people, they're reneging on their own arguments for COVID. And now you open a door for, well, if you don't take the vax, even though people got the vax still can get it and go to the hospital and get sick. Now you open up the door for people, oh, you smoke, or you're fat, or you're sexually promiscuous, or you have a dangerous job. We should raise the rates up for all of you different people. Like, it's weird what's going on and how we're getting lost in the sauce. I think the Nicki thing is a deflection from the jobs numbers that came out for Joe Biden, the shitty pullout of the Iraq war, the fact that they told everybody who was masked, who got the stabby, that they didn't have to wear masks no more. My place of work said, oh, those who got the stabby got to put their mask back on. Right? Y'all getting too free out there. They don't want to admit, which is the funniest thing, is they don't want to admit that the shit wears off. All the data comes out and says if you had the Rona, you're better protected from getting it again or getting really sick than one stabby or two. One stabby and having them had the Rona is better than the 2 shots. All this information is every day, new information. Every day we watch the same people chastising and demonizing you for not having it. We're reluctant to get it because it happened under Trump's Operation Warp Speed. Now, okay, Trump's going, let's give Biden credit for it getting done. Now everybody go get it. Even though we planted the seed, the Vice President of the United States said in the damn debate, if Trump say get it, I'm not going to get it. Trump doesn't have the authority to say that. Like, he's not in the lab with the coats putting bleach in syringes. Like, that's not how this works. The same CDC that worked for him is under the Biden administration. They just might change the head of it. That's it. A couple of positions in this administrative position get changed, but the same people in the white coats, trust the science. The motherfucking scientists has made this shit in the lab. That's just my video, though. It's just like, it's so many different angles to attack this thing. Where the people there are thirsty people on the right but I'm not even really seeing people jump on her bandwagon. They're simply saying, I agree with Nicki on this issue. I think that needs to be paused, though, because she did get an invite to the White House. That check that might come out of that, she's an artist. She's not been touring. Things is difficult. So her reaction could change. And she already told you, I am going to get it. I need to get it to provide for my family. She already said that. So I think that disclaimer might be important. Because it is embarrassing watching you. How many times have you seen a Miss America say something? Healthcare is not a human right. The one black one said that. She goes on a Breakfast Club. She goes on Hot 97. That black nigger crap media hype thing, I'm getting it. It's strong. It's hard. I'm not saying that it's not difficult to deal with that. Absolutely. The left will really eat their own. Like, they will destroy you and push you and force you to go to the other side, or force you to feel like you ain't got no home. I saw the Black Authority, or Jason, one of them, same people, they were doing a video about Rose McGowan because she endorsed Larry Elders, but I'm like, she endorsed Larry Elders because she has an bandana against the Democratic Party and establishment. That's a personal thing between her and white liberals who pooped on her over Weinstein. The dude, Gavin Newsom's wife, tried to silence her, tried to bribe her not to go after Harvey. Like, that's some white on white issues. They ain't got nothing to do with Negroes. Her endorsement of Larry Elders, she's being forced to the right, even though she's a liberal. Because they eat their own that much. And they're trying to do it to Nicki. Did it to Killer Mike. And whoever else, they're going to do it to them too. They tried to do it to LeBron James, but LeBron James was too big for that to fall. Right? And all he said was, that's none of your business. Again, what did they do? They sent Stephen A. Smith out there. Go after LeBron James for simply saying, I'm like, nah. They praise him in every other aspect. But him saying, that's a personal matter, we're going to talk about that between me and my family, that wasn't good enough for those in the media. The only answer you can have is get the jabby, and that's it. Even though every day we're getting new data, new information that says it does this, it does that, the shit wears off in 6 months. Having the Rona is more effective to protect against the other virus than this stuff. Like, and you're not supposed to acknowledge any of that. Just shut up and dribble. Shut up and take the stabby. Don't ask no questions. The people who, every person in this country who wants to get the stabby has it. There's no person who doesn't have it that didn't want it. Yet every time, no matter if it's right, left, independent, libertarian, it's almost like every single one of these shows are getting that Moderna check at the end of their ads. Like literally every segment they say it. Like, how many times did you say it? We heard you the first 50 million times. Like, you don't have to say it after every time the topic comes up. That's literally every headline is that the Rona, right? It's not going anywhere, literally. But the topic of it is not going anywhere. And I'm watching. Okay, Rising is the name of the show. Rising TV. Literally, the only person on that person of reason is Kim Iverson. She's acknowledging the problems. The conservative on that show, the libertarian on that show, are all team go get the stabby. She's go get the stabby. Do your research. I don't agree with mandates. The rest of the folks do. It's weird. It's like people who are they want to get outside, when they want to go play, they want to go to restaurants. They mad at the people who are introverts who don't give a shit about that and want to stay inside and don't care about being around people. The same people who were quote unquote essential workers and had to work through this entire thing, risking their lives in their situation. Now you mad at them because, like, well, I got it, I had it, I was out there around it, I was out there and I social distanced and I washed my hands and I did everything I was supposed to do and I didn't get it. So why I gotta put this in me now when I did my due diligence? I followed the so-called information that they gave us. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Wear 2 masks. Don't wear a mask. If you get the stabby, you can go outside and play and you don't have to wear a mask anymore. Oops, nope, we're wrong. You can get the mask. But guess what? You need a booster shot. Like, come on. There's so much inconsistency in this. You cannot be trying to bully people into making these type of decisions. Everybody who got it, everybody who wanted it, got it. A lot of people got it reluctantly because they wanted to go outside or because their job made them do it. Now, I totally understand certain careers, people in the hospital, medical field. I understand you always around people, healthcare workers who got to go to people's houses. I get, like, I understand. Like, I know people who worked at a job who actually said, you got to get it, you got to go. And shout out to the people who said, I'm going. Lots of nurses quit. That's the funny thing. If enough people were to be like, nah, F you, they would have no choice but not mandate it. Right now, we got a bus driver shortage all over across the country. Black men, I know everybody's talking about, robot trucks and robot cars. Right now, a CDL, even a Class B is gold right now. The student driver is not a 40-hour job. It's not, and there's a break in the middle. But for those who aren't working, $25 an hour to drive a bus for 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. And you can do whatever you got to do in between that. They're hurting for drivers right now. Our restaurants, like, they still open to 9, 10 o'clock. They're closing at 3 o'clock because they can't get workers. Even though the unemployment from the federal government is stopped, they still can't get workers. Whole dynamic has changed. But that's my video. I went longer than I wanted to be. It's just crazy. I watched Robert Perillo, who's a niggercrat, who I respected in the past, but he up there making fun of her booty. He up there putting her in MAGA hats. Like, that shit is dumb. Like, I get you trying to be funny. It's not funny. Like, it's okay to body shame a black woman now because she puts them in her, but it's okay to do that now. Any other time, it's protect black women. But if a black woman goes off your line of thinking, now it's okay to go after her. Now it's okay to make her trash. I believe in going after anybody for any reason on their issues and what they said, not make personal attacks like that. Everybody's picking and choosing which part of her tweets to read. They hung up on the friend that got it, his nuts swell up. They hung up on this and that, why she didn't go to the Met Gala. But she said she's going to get it. This is how they're treating somebody that said, I'm going to get it. Think about that. She's conceded to the point. They've put her in a position where she can't even feed her family without getting it. I'm going to do it on my terms when I'm ready to do it, not on yours. That's how many Americans feel. The 80 million, my bad, that haven't got it yet. They probably feel the same way. Or the 100 so million that only got one stabby and said, I ain't going back for 2. Man, that's my video. What do you think? Think hard about this, because I see black people happy when there's censorship in the media. They're happy when Alex Jones gets shut down, but they're in their feelings when it's a Farrakhan. Like, y'all niggas can't win in a situation. Like, if white men are walking away from their own companies and having to sit down and get moved off boards because of stuff they said are politically incorrect, whatever, what power do you think you have, or opportunities you have? Like, when the D.L. Hugleys and the Yvette Browns and all these black niggercrat celebrities, they will do the bidding of the Democratic Party. They will attack you.
I'd say that he trusts the experts at the FDA. How confident are you in the approval process of the FDA right now?
Well, first, how confident am I? I'm not that confident, but my opinion doesn't matter. I don't believe the American people are that confident. You're going to say to the American people now, here's a vaccine, it was new, it was done quickly, but trust this federal administration and their health administration that it's safe. We're not 100% sure of the consequences. I think it's going to be a very skeptical American public about taking the vaccine, and they should be.
So what's it going to take to convince you that it's safe, that it's effective, that it should be distributed?
Well, what I said I'm going to do in New York is we're going to put together our own group of doctors and medical experts to review the vaccine and the efficacy and the protocol. And if they say it's safe, then I'll go to the people of New York and I will say it's safe with that credibility. But I believe all across the country, you're going to need someone other than this FDA and this CDC saying it's safe.